over a month removed from now. The Mavericks, they changed the entire landscape of their franchise in early February when they sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. But since then, injury luck, it just has not been on their side. Davis, he was dominating in his Mavericks debut. He recorded 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists on February 8th. However, he suffered an adductor strain in the second half, and he has not played since. And then, really unfortunately, this past Monday against the Kings, Kyrie Irving, he tore his ACL in the first quarter. He will be sidelined for the rest of the season and will likely miss time next season as well. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively II, they've also missed extended time here as we bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania, for more on what's going on in Dallas. We saw an update here on Anthony Davis, Shams. What's the latest on that front?
Malika, it's very possible that Anthony Davis has played his last game this season for the Mavericks, but I am told he is continuing to go through his rehab with that adductor strain to see, is there a potential window for him to return late in the season? But there are two very tricky factors at play here. On one side, with Anthony Davis, this is a soft tissue injury, so to make sure he is 100% and doesn't risk further re-injury is very important. And on the other side is where the Mavericks will be in the standings. If there is a window for him to return late in the season, if they are still in the play-in picture, the playoff picture, then does it make sense to bring him back? As an organization, they have to weigh the risk-reward of Anthony Davis playing potentially in meaningless or in play-in games late this season. Because what this trade set up, Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, is a 3-year title window for Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving here. They do have a talented roster, but it starts with Anthony Davis being healthy. Right, and if Anthony Davis isn't even available to even start to come back until April and he's on a minutes restriction, needs to ramp up, does that make sense? That's going to be what the Mavericks have to contend with. Shams, thank you. We're going to see you a little bit later here in the show. The Mavericks, they have a very small cushion for the 10th spot in the West. They're currently 2.5 games ahead of the Suns for that final play-in tournament spot. Right now, Stephen A., they have a 61% chance to make the play-in compared to 39% for the Suns. That's all according to ESPN analytics. Both the Mavs and the Suns, though, they didn't expect to be battling for the 10th spot when the season started. So when you're looking forward here, Stephen A., who do you feel better about their future?
I actually feel better about the Dallas Mavericks, believe it or not. I feel better about the Dallas Mavericks because health is their issue. Not fervor, not a desire, not some inexplicable stuff that's happening that you can't figure out. You got a champion as a coach. You got a 2-time champion and 2-time NBA Finals MVP as your star. You got a stud in Devin Booker that gives you 26 a night. You got a $50 million player in Bradley Beal that's good for 17 to 18 a night, and y'all still can't win damn games. It's inexplicable. It boggles the mind. Whereas with the Dallas Mavericks, we know it's simple. Injuries. The minute they get healthy, AD, Kyrie, Gafford, Lively, they'll be all right. Very simple to me.
That rhymed. That was cute. Go ahead, Bert.
They got options, the Dallas Mavericks. They got options. And I get it, all the fan bases, I mean, the whole entire fan base is watching the Lakers and watching the success that Luka is having right now. But just sit tight. The most important thing is you want to finish this season with Anthony Davis on his feet. That's number one. Number two, you want to go into next season with a fully loaded, healthy roster. Whether this the same roster you bring back from this season, you're still starting off at a great starting point, especially with those three bigs. Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Anthony Davis. You sprinkle in some Kyrie Irving in there, you're doing just fine. On top of that, you have assets. So if you do want to go shopping this offseason and you try to go land a Kevin Durant, you got some eye candy. You got some pieces that some people may want. So, again, the Dallas Mavericks are set for the next 2 to 3 years to make a legit title push long as they're healthy.
Yeah, and I was trying to think about devil's advocate. What would the case be for the Suns to be more favorable moving forward? And I would say that Kevin Durant is the greatest asset potentially coming in the offseason. But I agree with both of you guys. It's kind of crazy because I have trust issues with both squads. Since 2020, both of these teams have been to the NBA Finals, but they fell short and they've had roster overhauls. I trust Dallas a little bit more just because of that injury situation. People forget how good Anthony Davis, how well he was balling. 26 and 12. I think he was the only player player in the NBA to have 26, 12, and 2 blocks and shoot effectively. Kyrie Irving, we all know he's a consummate pro. You still have shooting. This squad, Dallas, has championship pedigree from coach to players. They have a solid defense, top 10 in offense and defense, whereas the Suns, they're 27th in defense with question marks on their offense. I've got to go with the Dallas Mavericks.
Just in the short term for tonight, a sprinkling of good news here for the Dallas Mavericks. Dante Exum back tonight. Caleb Martin making his debut here for the Mavericks. Stephen A., you're going to want to stick around here for our next segment because coming up here on NBA Countdown, Jalen Brunson, he exited the Knicks game against the Lakers in overtime after he appeared to injure his ankle, stepping on Austin Reeves there. Brunson had 39 points and 10 assists in the loss. By the way, he has the most 30 in 10 games in Knicks history. He is this team's engine, and so an entire fan base really holds their breath here. As we welcome back in Shams Charania. Shams, what more can you tell us on Jalen Brunson and when he could potentially return to the court?
Jalen Brunson is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. I'm told it will be an extended period of time. It's a pretty significant ankle sprain that he has, so the Knicks are going to have to manage his mobility, the swelling in that ankle before he's able to make a return here in the coming weeks, potentially, of course, for the Knicks, hopefully before the NBA playoffs in April. Okay,
so at least 2 weeks here for Jalen Brunson with that ankle sprain. Shams, thank you. Stephen A., I turn to you here. Your reaction to this?
It's devastating. It's devastating, but listen, it's not the end of the world. He'll be back before the season is over. That's a good thing. It eradicates hope, if not drastically, at least drastically diminish hopes for the New York Knicks against quality teams. You know, the New York Knicks this year are 0-9 against the top 2 teams in each conference. 0-2 against the Cavs, 0-3 against the Celtics, 0-2 against both the Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. We don't like that. Obviously, Brunson averaging 26 a game, doing what he do, 49% from the field, 30% for three-point range. We know what he means to this team, but it's going to be an opportunity for Karl-Anthony Towns to step up and the New York Knicks to come together collectively and figure this out. Ain't gonna mean they're gonna beat Cleveland or Boston, though.
Look, and when you were looking at that, record 0-9 against top teams, I think what stands out to me with Brunson being out is clutch time. He was Mr. Clutch.
Yep.
Yeah.
6 points in the fourth quarter, or around like the last 5 within 2, however the clutch time is designated. And to me, that's an opportunity for others to step up. But he has the ball in his hands. He's a decision maker and he's a scorer. So much, it's gonna be tough. And I was looking at the stretch that's upcoming for them. Clippers, Kings, Blazers, Warriors, Heat, and Spurs. There's some opportunities for them to still squeak out some quality wins. But leading into the postseason, this is really tough.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
No, it's not. They haven't had a quality win in almost a month and a half. So what makes you think they're going to get a quality win without Jalen Brunson? And you saying it's not the end of the world. It's definitely the end of the world for this season for the New York Knicks. Their hopes or belief of actually trying to compete for a title, that door is closed.
Because of the injury?
Yes, because of the injury and because
Isn't he coming back?
Because of the timing. And when he do come back, do you think they have belief in that locker room right now? Do you? Hold on.
Without him, no. But is he not coming back?
With him, do you think they have
Yes.
belief? Why? What makes you believe that they have belief?
No. That they have belief. First of all, they believe in each other. They certainly believe in him.
Well, like I told you, in the month of February, they didn't have one signature win. Not
And
one.
I look at Karl-Anthony Towns when it comes to that because he's got to play big against the bigger teams.
Yeah, but he can't pass the ball to his.
I understand. Now we're talking about that.
A duo.
Now we're talking about that.
And listen, I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan. I'm a huge supporter of the New York Knicks. I love Tom Thibodeau, but I'm keeping it real. The Bucks are trending upwards. The Pistons, they're trending. The Cavs and Celtics are cooking.
The New York Knicks team that I saw last night before Jalen Brunson got hurt.
So
can beat Mo.
Right now, Shanae, they're 3.5 up on Milwaukee.
That's what I'm saying.
I talked to someone last night who said, well,